Okay.
You can go ahead. You can go ahead when you're ready, Dana.
Trying to turn the air conditioner off.
Okay, are we doing roll call now?
No.
No.
We're returning to open session.
Okay.
Announcement of action taken in closed session. There was no action.
Okay, no action.
Public comment on agenda items. Members of the public may address the board regarding items of this agenda immediately prior to their being discussed by the board. Time limits generally 3 minutes per speaker, 20 minutes per subject will be imposed by the board president. The board president may rule on the appropriateness of a topic. If the topic would be more suitably addressed at a later time, the president may indicate the time and place when it should be presented. The board shall not prohibit public criticism of its policies, procedures, programs, services, acts, or omissions as outlined in Government Code 54954.3. In addition, the board may not prohibit public criticism of district employees. Whenever a member of the public initiates specific complaints or charges against an employee, the board president shall inform the complainant that in order to protect the employee's right to adequate notice before a hearing of such complaints and charges, and also to preserve the ability of the board to legally consider the complaints or charges in any subsequent evaluation of the employee. It's the policy of the board to hear such complaints or charges in closed session unless otherwise requested by the employee pursuant to Government Code 54957. The board president shall also encourage the complainant to file a complaint using the appropriate district complaint procedure. Did we have any public comments on open session items?
No public comments at this time.
Okay, thank you. Consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion, Debbie Myers, to approve the consent agenda.
Debbie moves. Is there a second?
I second.
Martha seconds. Any discussion? This is the approval for the SELQA Special Education Local Plan. Okay, roll call vote.
Roll call. Trustee Wild,
I don't know if he's with us.
I don't have Rob with us.
okay. Trustee George,
Yes.
Trustee Myers,
E.
Trustee McLaughlin,
Aye.
Trustee Colgrove,
Yeah.
Trustee Waddy.
Yes.
Okay, I have 5 yeas and Wild, Trustee Wild has stepped away or is not with us at the time.
Okay, so the consent agenda is approved. Action items, approval of the Expanded Learning Opportunities Grant. The recommendation is to approve the Expanded Learning Opportunities Grant Plan. I will entertain a motion to approve.
This is Carrie Waddy, and I make a motion to approve the Expanded Learning Opportunities Grant.
Is there a second?
I second that, Debbie Myers.
Debbie Meyer seconds. Okay. Jen, do you want to?
Yeah, I just, this special meeting is for the review and approval of this grant, which is offered to all districts in California. It has a shelf life of about a year and a couple of months, so it's not one of the long-term grants, and it really is designed to provide districts with resources to provide, as it says, expanded learning opportunities. Most of the monies are supposed to go towards in-person learning opportunities, and there's a set aside for classified para educators. So there's Other than that, it's pretty broad. There are 7 allowable expenditures that we've looked at over the last 2 board meetings. So I brought this to the board and just discussed, here are some of the options. And so this is the time when we put money into each of the categories of expenditures, and it goes through August of 2022. It does include, in my information piece, you'll see approval of this expanded learning opportunity plan includes stipends for summer learning options, also known as summer school. We're trying to brand it a little bit differently.
So since it's short, let's just go through the descriptions.
Sure.
Big cherry one.
So right on,
You're on the cell phone.
yeah,
We're done with that.
Oh, we're done.
Yeah, it's-
We're on this.
Oh, it's nice and short.
so, did you want to go through each of the parts or the expenditure?
Yeah, it's short. Let's go through it.
So the first part was the plan description of how parents, teachers, and school staff were involved in the development of the plan. The expanded learning opportunities grant was on the Board of Trustees agenda as a discussion item at the April 20th regular meetings and the May 4th special meeting for consultation with Indian Policies and Procedures Task Force and the May 20th special meeting. The superintendent presented the grant and the categories of supplemental instruction and support strategies at a webinar for the community. We created an email link, elo@ktjusd.k12.ca.us for staff and community to contribute ideas about services. The classified and certificated unions consulted on services through meetings and written input. We are working in partnership with Two Feathers Native American Family Services to have an integrated summer program that includes social emotional supports and culturally relevant activities. A description of how students will be identified and the needs of the students will be assessed. Considering the extent of time of disruption to in-person learning and the barriers to full and comprehensive digital distance learning, our district is providing the option of summer learning options to all students. Summer learning options and after-school tutoring during the regular academic year will allow for staff to assess the needs of students who are in attendance. Outreach and social workers continue to assess students' social emotional needs. A description of how parents and guardians of students will be informed of the opportunities for supplemental instruction and support. Our district will promote the options for supplemental instruction and support through district and school site communications, websites, texts, phone calls, and print materials, and through public service and calendar announcements on the local radio and newspaper. A description of the LEA's plan to provide supplemental instruction and support. The main support that our district is providing through the Expanded Learning Opportunities Grant is investing in our personnel. There's a typo, 2 words. Our summer learning option will truly be expanded beyond the extended school year by offering services to all students. The district will increase the pay rate that has traditionally been offered to teachers and instructional aides for summer work in order to incentivize staffing. Our district has a number of para-educator positions that are vacant. Rather than increase the number of positions that we are trying to fill, we will begin by increasing the number of hours that para-educators are able to work. We will also allocate funding for staff to be paid for after-school tutoring for students. Other supports will be to provide access to school meal programs, technology, and classroom supplies for the summer learning option.
I have one question. Did we get any information back through the email link?
Not through the email link. Dana, did you have any,
No, I
anything that
didn't,
came since Friday, since we published?
no, I didn't receive any.
So the table with the expenditure plan identifies the 7 support strategies that we discussed. I took a lot of notes that you all had some ideas. So the extended instructional learning time, $369,894 covers stipends for summer learning for certificated, and classroom supplies for summer learning. And we're looking at that for 2 years because the grant goes through August of 2022. So doing a summer program this year and a summer program next year, and then the funding ends.
Does that need to be put in here or just?
No, it
It
was
does-
really frustrating. There was nowhere to put any supplemental information. We have
Okay.
internal notes. Yeah, it was a template that came and it just said, plug your number in. So I have internal notes about how we came up with each of the calculations.
So that was 2-year stipends for certificated.
Correct.
And what was the other?
And some materials and supplies.
Okay.
So the second one, accelerating progress to close learning gaps through implementation, expansion, or enhancement of learning supports. This was a recommendation from KTTA, and they talked about doing after-school budgeting for at least up to 2 hours of after-school tutoring budgeted per classroom teacher for the 30 weeks, so that, and this could be inclusive of classified as well. That was one of the recommendations that we had talked about after-school tutoring with classroom teachers. $231,000 for that. And that would be for 1 academic year because then the grant will expire. Integrated student supports to address other barriers to learning. That included food service was specifically identified. So we were talking about staffing for our food service for the summer. We will be reimbursed at the seamless summer rate. And so in consultation with Becky Woodman, she said, the reimbursement pretty much covers the food, but now we can actually hire people in for the staffing. And the other thing that we came up with was the healthy snacks before school starts. So we just did a cost estimate of saying maybe half of the students every day would have a piece of fruit or hard-boiled egg or something before school. So, and it's not reimbursable through our National School Lunch Program. So we added money in for that for 1 academic year. And that came to a total of $136,095. Community learning hubs that provide students with access to technology, high-speed internet, and other academic supports. This is primarily for staffing in the IT department. We only have 2 year-round employees. The others are on the academic year. When they show up after the summer, according to the department, they're already behind. So in order to maintain a continuity of technology and really keeping our equipment up to date and updated, we were going to put some into extending the classified service hours, and having year-round IT support. It's $24,000 to $24,240. Supports for credit deficient students to complete graduation or grade promotion requirements and to increase or improve students' college eligibility. We feel like that's included in strategies 1 and 2. The state did not require that we do every single strategy. They just gave some outlines of here's what's allowable. So credit recovery can happen through strategy 1, which is the summer option. And then credit recovery can also happen and college eligibility through strategy 2, which is after school tutoring during the academic year. Additional academic services for students. This is the amount that we are budgeting for para-educators for the summer portion, and as well for increasing hours for para-educators, instructional aides that work in special education, and literacy paraprofessionals for the academic year. So bumping them up or giving them the option, instead of working 29 hours, to work 35 hours. that has also been reported to me as a need at the high school to increase the number of hours for our paraprofessionals because the high school day is longer than the elementary school day. $84,582. Training for school staff on strategies to engage students and families in addressing students' social emotional health and academic needs. This is another one with training, and we have a number of other funding sources that can be paid for through. So any of the staff training has been through ESSER funding. We have the CHUCS donation from Two Feathers that covers youth mental health, first aid, and other trainings for staff. And the total that we are allocated if we submit the grant to the state is $845,811. And then the last part is a description of how ELO grant funds are being coordinated with other federal elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds received by the LEA. The ELO grant funds are a component of the district's overall plan for the use of one-time funding that we are receiving for pandemic-related relief. The ELO grant provides narrower guidelines, and the supplemental strategies will be more directed in targeting additional in-person learning opportunities. The 3 rounds of ESSER funding are planned for a broader array of services, including infrastructure supports, health and safety, staff training, and incentives directed toward retaining employees.
Any comments or discussion?
Sounds really good.
I think it sounds
Get it, yeah.
So we will submit this to the County Office of Education within the next 5 days. They don't really approve it, the board approves it, but they always are good about keeping record and then we'll get it to CD.
Okay, so any other discussion, Carrie?
I'm good with it.
Okay, are we ready for a roll call vote?
Okay, roll call. Trustee Myers, Trustee George,
Yes.
Trustee Wild. Not here, okay. Trustee
Trustee who?
Waddy, Carrie,
Yes,
Trustee Colgrove.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 4 yes, and 1.
No,
Nope.
not me.
Who did I forget? Oh, McLaughlin, Martha, Trustee McLaughlin. Aye, okay, we have 5-0.
So the Extended Learning Opportunities Grant is approved.
Approved, nice, yeah.
So information, next item is information. We have information.
Oh, I do. It's just an announcement that I think it's on our website right now. We're having a community meeting about the English language arts curriculum adoption. So we have representatives from Success for All. It's been vetted through the staff at different grade levels, but we are opening it up. I think in a normal year, we would have a curriculum fair. People could come in and look at the materials. But because we are still under COVID restrictions, we're having a webinar so that people can ask questions of the company. It's a little bit more than just a curriculum adoption. It's a targeted strategy to teaching literacy. So I think it's please come, please watch, because this is what we're going to be doing with your kids next year. And I will bring the recommendation to the board at the regular meeting for the curriculum adoption.
When is this happening?
I'm sorry, so Thursday, it's on the, and
This Thursday?
this Thursday is the Success for All. Did you see it in the paper, Dana? We put it in the paper as, I don't know, I didn't get to look at it today.
Yeah, we put it in the paper, but I didn't see it yet, but it's June
Okay.
at 6 o'clock.
And if you go to our website, right on the front page, there's a calendar, and that would be the way to get the link to the webinar. 6 p.m. So, and we can record it.
Any other information and items? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Kaduja moves
Look at
to
what she
adjourn.
whispered.
Martha seconds. Roll call vote.
Trustee Waddy,
Yeah, aye.
trustee Colgrove,
Yeah.
trustee McLaughlin,
Aye.
trustee Myers, trustee George,
Yes,
5-0.
meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie, for giving up part of your vacation.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you.